Hi, and welcome back to Richard Readings. This is going to be the collective message for the day. Thing that's coming out is there's a lot of layers to this. There's a specific attack on hope, on the energy of hope and truth. And so we're going to talk about those spaces of hope and truth and where they overlap. Now, obviously, if you know anything about manifestation and the way that it works and the way that your own thoughts then become your reality, if you follow through and make actions based upon those thoughts to create that reality, that needs hope, because in the beginning of that, you are doing something basically that does not exist. You are making something that does not exist into something that does exist, which is literally being a creator, if you have not thought about it that way, which literally makes you a human-based, a human-bodied, like God, essentially. But manifestations cannot take place unless you have hope that something can change, or something that does not exist in the current reality can exist in the future reality. And so one of the things that is being attacked extremely hard at this point is people's hope, because people see everything that is going on in the world. It's the same old story. Inundate everyone with projections of fear, hate, anger, upset, trauma. And not only is that creating more of that in the world, but that's also feeding the people who specifically are engineering this to feed off of that energy, to feed off of that essence of anger, fear, all those low vibrational energies that come from these lower chakra points and the shadow essences of those chakra points. Because all human beings are essentially creators, and we have an ability to create something that is not present in the physical reality into the future reality. If we focus on fear-based projections, then what our reality begins to become is a fear-based projection, because you are both a receiver and a projector. You receive information from a collective database, and then you project that information out into your collective world, into your collective space, into your physical matter, and then you basically become a projection of whatever it is that you're receiving, and you, as the tool in between that, as the intermediary space between that outside world that you're intaking and outtaking, then have the ability to basically write the script, write the program, write the code for whatever it is that you're manifesting into your reality. So it's very simple to create a world that is constructed of fear-based programming when all you have is fear-based programming inundating what people are receiving through their receiver sides of themselves, so that people who are uneducated on how to do the programming coding of their reality process then basically just reflect that same energy right back into their collective physical worlds. And that's a program that pretty much everybody knows. Now, the other side of this was truth, right? So there's a contingency space between hope-based information, and truth-based information, because the truth is the truth. And if the truth is dark, then the truth is dark. And if that is what's being received through the receiver portion of the human anatomy, through the human energetic field, then it is a lot harder to redefine that code inside of yourself when the truth-based factual information that you're getting is dark. Because this is the part where people start to say, how can you just be a toxically positive person all the time when you see that this is what's going on in the world? So that adds a whole nother step, which is why truth and hope are contingents. Because there's a step between truth. When the truth is a dark, sad, angry, fear-based truth, and you as a physical form have to absorb that energy in through your receiver side of yourself, you then have to also have enough hope and understanding to delineate a pathway, because it's no longer just point A to B. You've now created a pathway and a mathematical equation that says, I am given this fear-based thing. I need to create an equation that allows me to use this fear-based thing to create this hope-based thing, or this blessing in my life that I am manifesting. That equation, that mathematical process that you do inside of yourself without thinking about it, is what we know as alchemy. Because it is math, it is thought, it is science, it is belief, it is hope, all at the same time. And this then becomes the difference between people who manifest positivity into their life and into the lives around them, and the people that don't. And there are systematic attacks on people that have a very, very strong amount of hope, because if you can control hope, you can control reality, because you're controlling the mathematical equation. And if you're limiting hope by inundating it with fear, then you are controlling that process of alchemy and making it a lot harder, because it's a lot harder to solve for hope when all you have is fear in the equation. It's also a lot harder to solve for truth when all you have is illusion in the equation, when all you're receiving is non-factual, illusion-based basically garbage that is either being presented by a overarching media structure or an overarching government. And with things like that, it doesn't even have to be as big as government. It can literally just be a team of people who want to inundate you with so much fear-based crap that you eventually give up, that they try and block out the hope that your life can be anything different than it is at this point, and so that you cannot properly do the alchemical process mathematical equation to manifest anything hopeful or productive into your future. That is also a war crime. But we don't want to talk about that yet. That is also a form of espionage. But we don't want to talk about that yet. And when it's being done intentionally, because the body, the individual physical body, human structure body that is being inundated with fear, when that body is such a strong alchemizer that it can make honey, or it can make nectar, or whatever, because those have sexual connotations, which is a part of it, but it is more so about the energy that is then alchemized and then created. It's like turning into gold, you know? That was what the whole Philosopher's Stone alchemical study was about. It was about, how do we make an element into a new element? How do we make fear into hope? How do we add fear and hope together and end up with an advanced society? How do I take these losses and these people saying this and that bad thing and that bad thing and that bad thing and that bad thing, mix it all together, and then still end up with a positive outcome, which puts me on a path to productivity? The people that are the strongest at doing this have been systematically watched, and they have been systematically surrounded by people that are energy consumers. Fact. Lions and bears and tigers, oh my! Because an alchemist who has understood the alchemical equation, the mathematical equation of alchemy, and how it exists from the receiver part of themselves to the creator part of themselves, has an ability to completely change the structure of reality if they are able to reinforce their belief into their process, into their physical actions and routines, to the point where they can create it into a physical reality for themselves and others, because it's a collective projection into the physical reality. The people that want control over that are going to target those people. They're going to hit them with everything that they have so that they can feel like there's nothing that they can do in their lives to have any kind of improvement whatsoever. And then they're going to surround them on the back end of that so they can feed off of whatever energy is then produced off of them, by them, based upon what they've been inundating themselves with. And these people know that they're doing it, and they know that it's on purpose and it's intentional, and they know that they're feeding, and they do feel shame for doing this. And now, at this point in the world, what's going to happen is a lot of people who have reincarnated here with an ability, a high-level ability based off of thousands of years of work doing alchemical restructuring of their own internal energy are back to do it again. And those people were targeted, and now there's so much karma in relation to these groups of people that is the overwhelming